Today we're going to look at finding the surface area of prisms. So when we're talking about surface area, it's the sum of the areas of all of the faces, of all of the sides. And since it's area, we're measuring it in square units. A lot of times we can use what we call a net, which is a two-dimensional representation of the solid. So a net looks something like this. Here's my rectangular prism. It's made of all of these rectangular bases. And essentially a net is where you're just unfolding that, so it would look like this. So you can see the top and the bottom, the front and back, and the two sides. It's just unfolding the figure. So sometimes a net can be helpful when finding surface area. So let's go ahead and look at some examples together. So let's find the surface area of this rectangular prism. So we want to find the areas of the top and the bottom. We'll start with that. So I'm going to label here top and bottom. And if I look at the bottom, it's labeled 7 by 4 here, 7 by 4 inches. So the area is 7 by 4, which is 28 inches squared. And we have 2 because the top and the bottom are the same. So I multiplied that by 2 and got 56. Okay. So now that's the area of the top and the bottom. Now we have the area, let's go ahead and do the front. And then we're going to have the back, which is the same size. So now I'm going to say front and back. And we have 7 by 3 for this one. So we know it's a rectangle, so it's just 7 times 3, which is 21. And that means the front is 21 inches squared as well as the back. So I'm going to multiply that by 2 and get 42 inches squared. And then we still have these two sides. So we did the top, the bottom, the front, the back, and now we have to get these two smaller sides here. I'm going to put side, and I'm going to list side again just to show that I do have 2 of these. And those are 4 by 3. So 4 times 3. So I get 12. And since there's 2 of them, again, I'm going to multiply by 2. So all I did here is just find the area of all of the different rectangles. So it's just looking at what we did in chapter 4. Now with surface area, what that means now is you're just going to add all of those together, and that's going to give you the area of this entire figure. So surface area now means I'm going to add the 56, 42, and the 24 together, and I end up with 122 inches squared. Okay, I want you to go ahead and try this one here, and then set it up on your own. So find the area of the top and bottom, the front and back, and then the two sides. Add all those together, and then you can unpause to check your work when you're done. Okay, so I did the top and bottom, the front and back, the two sides, added all of the areas together, and got 258 meters squared. Okay, go ahead and flip this over, and then there's 2 more back here for you to try. So these ones involve fractions and decimals. So on this one, you're still finding the area. This is a Kleenex box like what I was showing you yesterday. So you're going to find the area of the top and bottom, the front and back, the sides, and then add all of those together. It's just you're going to have a fraction in there. So just change it to a improper fraction first. This one, same thing here. You're going to find the area of all the sides, add them together. But you do have that decimal 3 5/10. Okay, for this first one, the top and bottom were both squares that were 5 by 5. And then all 4 sides, since those are squares, all 4 of the other sides were the same, 6.5 by 5. So I multiplied that and got 32.5 and multiplied it by the 4 sides. When I added that together, I got 180 inches squared. For this next one, I did the top and bottom, front and back, and then the other 2 sides, got all those areas and added them together to get 286 feet squared. Okay, now we're going to take a look at triangular prisms. So same idea here. You could use a net if you wanted to. So here's an idea of what the net would look like if this is my triangular prism. So I have a triangle in the front and the back. I could unfold that and see the 2 triangles and then the rectangles as well. So let's go ahead and look at finding the surface area of a triangular prism. So for this one, we have the bottom base here. I'm going to list this one first. So here on the bottom, it's 12 by 8 centimeters. 12 by 8, so that's going to be 96 centimeters. Then we have the front and the back. So we'll do the front and back next. And those are both the same. Okay, that's this triangle here, and then the same triangle on the back. So it's 12 by 5, and remember, since it's a triangle, we cut it in half. So 1/2, 12 by 5. So that's 1/2 times 60, so 30. And then since we have 2 of those, it goes back up to 60. And then we have 2 sides. And the 2 sides we have left are different sizes, so I'm going to label them both differently. So first I have this little side here that's 8 by 5. So it is 40 centimeters squared. And then we have one more side, which is this bigger one that's slanted up here at the top, and it's 13 by 8. So 13 times 8. So we can multiply that out. 10 times 8 is 80, and then 3 times 8 is 24. So when we add 80 and 24, we get 104. Okay, so now we want to add all of these together. We have the 96, the 60, 40, and the 104. Alright, so 6 plus 4 is 10, and I carried my 1. So I have 10, 19, 20. Alright. And then carry my 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So my surface area is 300 centimeters squared. So same idea as our rectangular prism, it's just now you have triangles thrown in the mix as well. So I want you to go ahead and try this one on your own. So find the area of, you've got your bottom base, these 2 triangles, and then this side and this side. So go ahead and pause the video and give that one a try. Okay, so I found the area of the bottom, the front and back triangles, and then the 2 different sides. Added those together and got 60 yards squared. Okay, 2 more on the back side. Go ahead and try these ones on your own. So you still have some triangles in these ones with the front and the back, 2 sides, and then a base. So this one, again, 2 triangles, these 2 sides, and then the base. You do have some decimals on this one, though. So go ahead and pause your video, give those 2 a try, and then once you've got this down, you'll be able to start your homework. For the first one, I found the area of the bottom, 16 by 9. The front and back triangles were 16 by 6. Cut them in half, and then I multiplied it by 2 since there were 2 of them. And then my 2 sides were 10 by 9, and they were actually the same, so I just multiplied that by 2, added them all together, and got 420 meters squared. All right, and then this last one, we did have quite a few decimal numbers here. So the bottom was 10.3 by 8.6. The front and back were 8.6 by 6.3, and they were triangles, and there's 2 of them. And then these 2 sides were the same, 10.3 by 7.6. So then I multiplied that by 2 and added all of those together to get my surface area.